Hi, my dear kids. This is another interesting story for you. This story is called A Just Verdict. This story is from Chandamama Stories 2007 January edition. Is our legal system working well? Emperor Akbar asked the courtiers. Yes, Shahanshah. Our judges are very efficient. They are honest and upright. They know the law inside and out. They dispose of cases quickly. Most cases are decided at the first hearing itself, said an old courtier. Our laws are fair and just. All are equal in the eyes of law. Another courtier code. Other courtiers too sang the same tune. Birbal, however, said nothing. He remained silent while others expressed their views. The emperor noticed his silence. Why was Birbal so quiet? Perhaps he did not agree with the rest of the courtiers. Perhaps he did not rate the laws of the land as truly efficient. The emperor frowned. A dozen lines formed on his forehead. Birbal noticed it. So did the rest of the courtiers. Yet Birbal did not say a word. Birbal, the emperor fixed his eyes on Birbal and said in a high pitched voice, I fear you don't have a high opinion of the laws of this land and the way our legal system works. Shehenshah, Birbal turned to Emperor with a smile. Am I right in stating that you hold our legal system in contempt? The emperor sounded furious. No, sir. How could I ever hold that view? But good laws and good judges alone do not necessarily ensure justice. Birbal stopped as he saw a guard walking in. Shehenshah, the guard saluted in the traditional way. He bent low enough for his outstretched hand to touch the ground. Then he stood up and offered a dozen salams. Yes, an old man who says he is a teacher of law is waiting for an audience. He has brought along a young man who is the old man's student. He says his student has been quoting the law to deny him his fee. He wants to present his case before the royal court and seek justice, the guard explained. Bring them in, the emperor directed the guard. The guard bowed, salaamed, and moved out. A teacher of law says he has been cheated by his student, a student whom he has taught law. That makes the situation very interesting, Birbal noted. What makes it interesting? A courtier asked. The student had learned law from the teacher. The student, I presume, is now pitting his newfound knowledge against his teacher. He must be a clever student. He must have found some new rule in the law book that justifies his action. He must have found a loophole in the law or in the terms set by him to his teacher. That's why he is confident enough to come with his teacher to the royal court, Birbal guessed. The emperor heard the verbal exchange. He leaned back and sighed. Was it possible that the law had loopholes? If so, they must be plugged. The emperor decided to take it up with the courtiers later. The guard walked in, leading the two men. One of them was quite old. His hair was totally grey. His face had wrinkles all over. Yet his eyes were bright. They reflected immense maturity. The young man seemed confident, rather overconfident, thought Birbal. The two men bowed low, paid homage to the emperor, and stood up. Who are you? The emperor asked the old man. Shehenshah, I am Vinod Kumar. I teach law to young men. I collect a fee from every student. That's how I make a living. The old man was brief, yet he managed to say all that emperor needed to know. Yes, Alampana, I taught law to this young man Pramod Behari. He came to me and requested me to teach him law. I quoted my fee. I said I take 3 mohars every month. The course I added extends to a year. He said he had no money to pay. He claimed he belonged to a very poor family. I felt pity for him. I said he could pay me the entire fee of 36 mohars as soon he won his first case. He agreed. I taught him law. He is very bright, very intelligent, so he learned quickly. Soon he gained insight into the finer points of law. I felt proud of him. I sensed he would be a good lawyer. I waited for him to complete his studies and start practicing. Then, when he won his first case, I thought I would get my fees. The old man paused. Now he refuses to pay. The emperor leaned forward. No, Shehenshah, he doesn't refuse to pay. He says he'll pay me when he wins his first case. But I'm afraid that will never happen. The old man sounded sad. But why? The case was getting curious. Because he now refuses to practice law. Unless he practices law, he won't win a case. Unless he wins a case, I won't get my fees. The old man groaned. Aha! The emperor now turned to the young man. Answer my questions. Yes, Shehenshah, the young man bowed. Did he teach you law? Yes, Shehenshah. You never paid him fees while you were a student. No, Shehenshah. I was born in a very poor family. I could not pay him the fees. Did you promise to pay him his dues once you won your first case? Yes, Shehenshah. You have completed the course of study. Yes, Shehenshah. So you can now practice law. Yes, Shehenshah. But you won't practice law. Shehenshah, recently a grand uncle died. He was very rich. He had vast stretches of land, farms, and orchards. He had no children. I have inherited his wealth. Now I am rich. I don't need to practice law. I plan to go back to the land. I shall live the life of a rich farmer, the young man replied. The teacher doesn't get paid till you win your first case. The emperor repeated the fact. That was the condition, Shehenshah, the student said. Is that true? The emperor turned to the old man. Yes, Shehenshah, the old man replied. So, where is the cause for action? How can we help you? The emperor looked puzzled. Shehenshah, the young man waited. Go on, the emperor asked him to proceed. If someday I practice law and win, I shall pay my teacher. I respect him. He is very good at teaching law. Thanks to him, I know all aspects of law. I know how to interpret the law. I know how to draft contracts. In brief, I know how law works. The young man bragged. The wily rogue. Birbal hissed under his breath. The emperor was at his wits' end. He felt sympathy for the old man, but it was not sympathy that the old man wanted. He wanted his fees. There was no way the emperor could get him the money. He hoped that one of the courtiers might show him the way, so he turned to them for guidance. What have you to say? He asked them. The old man will have to wait, Shehenshah. He has a right to claim payment only when the young man wins his first case, said the oldest of the courtiers. That's the legal position, said all the courtiers except Birbal. Birbal, what have you to say? The emperor looked at Birbal. Shehenshah, the young man is right. He doesn't have to pay till he wins his first case. Birbal smiled at the young man. The young man grinned. The old man's face fell. He had come with hopes of getting his dues. Those hopes now lay in ruin. He cursed his fate. Heard it. Oh, noble sir, I am sorry. I agree you deserve your fee, but you are bound by the contract. You don't get paid till the young man wins his first case. Till then, you have to wait. The emperor waved his hand, putting an end to the hearing. Thank you, Shehenshah. I knew that the law was on my side. I also knew you are always fair in judging cases. The young man looked at the old man with a sneer. The old man was almost in tears. He knew he had been worst, and there was nothing that he could do. He had entered into an agreement. He could get the fee only when the student won his first case. It now seemed he would never fight his first case, so the old man would never get his fees. He bowed to the emperor, so did the young man. Then they started moving out. Poor old man, said the emperor as he watched the two retreating. 1 minute. Birbal's voice rang through the court. The courtiers sat up. So did the emperor. He felt a little happy. He guessed Birbal had something in his mind. He wished Birbal found a way to get the old man his fee. The young man moved in quickly. The old man dragged his feet. Birbal waited till both came close to where he was sitting. My dear young friend, Birbal smiled at the young man. Yes, O great Birbal, the young man bowed. You promised to pay your teacher his fee on winning your first case. I did. I shall not go back on my promise, the young man replied. Well, you have just won your case at the royal court. Won your first case, he repeated. So, the young man was taken aback. He knew he was caught on the wrong foot. He would have to pay the fee to his teacher now that he had won the case. The old man too realized that. He thanked the emperor and Birbal for securing him justice. The young man paid the fee. The old man left happy that he got his due. The young man trailed behind him, said that he had lost money by winning his first case. That was one victory he didn't relish. Soon they were out of the court. Well done, Birbal. The emperor held Birbal in a warm hug. That's the story, kids. I hope you all like it. I'll tell another interesting story in the next video. Until then, bye bye.